Hey guys, welcome to my free training today on artificial intelligence for beginners. This is a training I think you're really going to enjoy, but what I'll do is I'll go straight into it so we can actually go through what will be covered today and teach you everything you know to actually get started in the space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen and we'll be able to get into it straight away. So as you read from the email or wherever you're watching this from, pretty much this came about because I was invited to speak on behalf of Global Wealth Club for Startup Australia, which is an organization focused on empowering and educating people around the space of sovereignty in all areas. So we got great feedback from the people listening, so I decided to do this same training for all of our listeners and everyone else who wants to listen to us to be educated in artificial intelligence, because as we know, that's the area, one of the areas that the world is heading into. It's the world we live in now. And if you don't know how to adapt to it and you don't know how to make your transition as the world goes into a digital age, then unfortunately, the reality is you'll just be left behind. And I'll share a little bit more about that so you can see facts behind it. But I'll quickly explain a few things before we go into it. So as always, just the normal disclaimer is that any information provided by Global Wealth Club is provided for educational purposes only. In this case, there's no financial advice, there's no tech advice, no artificial advice or anything of that kind. What we would suggest though is if you're looking for specific guidance around your specific situation, then you're best to see a licensed professional. This is just general education provided on from our knowledge to help you kind of get a balanced assessment of the whole situation. And I'm planning to keep this presentation around 30 minutes or so it's not too long or not too long or too short, I should say. And the outcome of today's training is you'll leave with a greater understanding of AI. You'll know what's required to master the skill of being an AI technician to free up your time and walk away with practical steps to start using it from today. So what I mean by AI technician is you'll get a better grasp of what that means as the presentation goes along. The reason I want to actually educate on this is so you actually get a greater understanding of everything. It's not just practical tools with AI. You actually have to know the overview behind it, the facts behind it, and where the world is going. Just because if you don't understand that, you probably have heard plenty of people already tell you about the hype with AI and technology and whatnot, saying that if you don't get on with this trend, you're going to be left behind. And at the same time, you've probably heard the opposite side to that, which is all the hype saying that there's amazing opportunities in AI, but then you're kind of left wondering about the actual statistics and facts of it. Or at least I know that was the case for me. I wasn't quite sure what AI was all about. All I heard was either the scarcity of it, that it's going to ruin everything, or the hype of it, but I couldn't get a balanced view of it. So that's what today is all about. What we're going to cover is there's three components to today's presentation. First one is background, so you can actually understand the facts and statistics behind it. So really the aim of the background section is to actually help you make your own decisions and help you form your own opinions about AI. Most people just listen to whatever they hear from different people they trust and different experts in the area, but they never actually form their own opinion of AI and whether it's good or bad. So the purpose of the background section is to help you understand it for yourself and be able to make a decision of how you want to use AI in your life. The overview section is more common questions that we get asked around AI. It's also about some myths people have around it, so you can actually kind of bust that, real life use cases and skills that you need to survive and thrive with AI. And then the last section is the practical one, which is all about step-by-step how you can use it. Some tips where I'm personally using it in GWC and a few other companies we run. And so you can actually kind of have a good helping hand to get started yourself in practically using AI in your career or your life. Now, first part is background of AI. Firstly, what is AI? AI simply means artificial intelligence, and it's not always those robots you see in a sci-fi movie. Whenever someone told me about AI, I always envisioned a robot or flying cars or something like that, but it's not that. Yeah, AI can be that. That's AI technology used to design that. But really simply, artificial intelligence itself is purely digital machines. That's all it is. So rather than physical machines, it's digital. And think back to the Industrial Revolution when people were replaced by physical machines. Now we're moving towards digital machines. That's all AI is, put in very simple terms. Some examples of AI in our lives, because people talk about how we're heading towards AI, but they don't realize that we actually are living it right now. So AI is self-checkout, for example, because they've got AI technology built in it. AI is the technology itself. This is a form of where AI is used. So self-checkout is a good example in our everyday life. The campaign builder is even AI because that helps automate things and make things more efficient. So anyone who runs an online business probably knows what this is. It's just a back-end campaign sequence. So this is a form of AI. QR codes are another good form of AI used in today's world. And then, of course, none other than ChatGPT, which we're also going to be exploring a bit later today for to give some tips around it. There's 4 types of artificial intelligence. So 4 types of technologies that are currently available and that will be developed. I won't spend too much time on this, but this is more to help you understand why people are kind of getting scared of it because they believe certain things about it, when in reality it's not quite here yet. The first type of AI is reactive AI. Is pretty much all this is just does specific tasks it's programmed to do. That's all it is. Number 2 is limited memory. This one pretty much does that. It does what it's programmed to do, but then at the same time, it absorbs data. It takes your feedback that you give it, like if you rate it a like or something, and then it improves over time through experience and through your feedback. That's what limited memory AI is. And I would consider this where, in terms of the public eye, where AI is currently at and how these are the types of ones you can currently use in your business. Most people get scared more of the idea of theory of mind AI or self-aware. They don't really get scared of this kind of AI. They more get scared of this because theory of mind AI is the next stage of development with AI technology. This is where the AI technology itself can understand human emotions. It can understand your needs and thoughts, and then it bases its decisions and actions accordingly. The reason it's important to know this kind of AI is because if you run your own business or your own career, you want to know what's coming up and what's developing so you can be able to adapt it into your business. So let's just say, as an example, you run some kind of therapy business or so. Rather than you kind of having to talk to all of your clients and assess everything, imagine having an AI technology which understands your client's needs, emotions, and thoughts, and based on that, it can give your client its suggestions and give it point it in the right direction without you needing to be there. That's the idea behind theory of mind, is that it can help you with your business, especially. I mean, there's plenty of other uses it can, but for this presentation, I'm more focusing on business point of view. So it really understands human emotions, needs, and thoughts, and they can adjust accordingly. Self-aware AI is what most people are scared of. This is where an AI technology has human consciousness with AI capabilities. So imagine an AI that feels the same emotions humans do, has the similar thoughts to what humans do, but then it has AI capabilities, like it has AI intelligence, where the whole information, where it's got all the information it needs in its mind or in its technology, like from Wikipedia or from Google. It has all that information available to it. It has infinite memory, and it has all of these different capabilities with the mind and feelings of human. So that's where people have. Scientists and experts in the area don't predict self-aware technology to be available until about 2050, or possibly not even in our lifetime. So that's a really key thing to keep in mind. So if you're fearing about self-aware technology, it's important to realize what people are saying about it, and they don't even know if it's going to be available in our lifetime. But with the rate that everything's moving at and the speed everything's going at, then who knows, it could probably be quicker than what they're saying. Main thing though is to actually understand that and do what you can. So now, where's AI heading? This is a book by Klaus Schwab, who I know we all love him, but it's important to understand what people like him are saying about it, especially when they're the ones who are key leaders, I should say, of the fourth industrial revolution. And this fourth industrial revolution talks all about where the world is going, especially in the form of technology. The key message from his book is society has faced 3 industrial revolutions, and we're now in the 4th. This one, however, is going to be unlike any other one humankind has ever experienced due to its lightning speed, widespread scale, and unprecedented impact on every aspect of our lives, from our businesses, jobs, to our daily lives, communication, and health. So think back to some of the old industrial revolutions where that was more impacting people financially, when people were losing jobs and everything. this industrial revolution that we're having with the development of technology and AI is going to impact not just our careers and finances, but it's going to impact everything. You're already seeing it with health. Like, for example, the Apple Watch is a good example where it can literally monitor your heart rate, your steps, and a lot of your health. Same thing with communication, listening to this kind of video from wherever you are, whether it's in another state of Australia or in the world. This wasn't possible 20 years ago. So it's impacting the way we communicate with each other. And it's going to impact everything, not just our careers. So this is what Klaus thinks. There has never been a greater time of promise or greater peril. And also in the new world, it is not about the big fish which eats the small fish, it's the fast fish which eats the slow fish. So in other words, he's basically saying that to adapt to this new world and to adapt to the digital age, you've got to be fast, you can't be slow. Because as we know, technology is moving at a rapid rate. Now, I'm not just saying that. Klaus isn't just saying that. There's actual stats that back this, especially around Korea with AI. So according to an Oxford study, 300 million jobs are going to be replaced by not just computers, but they're going to be replaced. Further on from that, the study showed 47% of US jobs are above 70% probability of being computerized. Australia probably isn't far behind that as well, maybe a couple of years behind or so, but America is, as we know, one of the leading countries, and their 47% of their jobs are 70% probability of being computerized. So let that sink in and like really understand what that means. And most of that 47% is above 80. So I won't be going too much into this, but if you want to pause the video, then feel free to, so you can actually have a look at that for yourself and the different industries that will be replaced. The future of jobs as well, according to the World Economic Forum, you can see the redundant roles right here. You can see new roles that will open up, and you can see stable roles. So take a look at this, and if you're working in a job or a business, see if there's any jobs in redundant that you fall into. Because when people talk about all the opportunities in AI, it's not just the business and investment opportunities, but it's also career opportunities. So if you're someone that's not necessarily interested in running your own business or being an investor or anything like that, then you may find that a way you can capitalize onto the AI trend is by finding a new role that will be better paying and be better opportunities for you. And these are some good examples of that. But once again, pause the video if you want to have a look at this. It's also not just AI that will replace jobs. Humans who understand and have mastered AI systems will also replace jobs. And that's my opinion. But more than my opinion, it's just logical. Let me give you a quick example of that. So put yourself in the mind of a business owner right now, and even in 10 years. People are saying that AI technology can do the job of about 3 people for 3 times less the amount, or 2 times less the amount. So if you're a business owner, if you can get one technology doing the job of 3 people, what logical decision are you going to make being a business owner with your main idea and main goal being profits? Are you going to choose to hire 3 people for 3 separate wages, 3 separate emotions you have to deal with, 3 separate dramas that bring into their work, and sometimes inconsistent productivity? Or are you going to choose to hire one AI technology and one person to manage that technology and have 2 times or 3 times less drama, less money being spent on a wage and all that? It's just a logical solution. So not only are jobs going to be replaced by computers, but they're also going to be taken over by people who know how to manage the AI software. And that's what I meant by AI technician at the start, because AI at the end of the day will always need a person to manage it, to make sure it doesn't have breaks, to make sure it doesn't, to make sure you're instructing it what to do. And I'll share a little bit more about that soon. Now, in the Great Depression, many laborers couldn't comprehend how machines would replace their job, and they either lived in denial, ignorance, or laziness. So back in the old Great Depressions and the 3 other revolutions, people that could see the times coming, they either lived in denial, so they just denied it completely that it was happening. They either were ignorant, so they knew it was happening to some degree, but they just didn't bother to look into the facts, and they didn't bother to look any further. So they just kind of ignored it and pretended it wasn't happening. Or they were lazy, so they actually knew what was happening, but they were too lazy to learn how to adapt. They were too lazy to learn new skill sets, and they were just, not really willing to make the changes that were required. Will we learn from history? Who knows? Because there's a lot of similar patterns today as we move, or as we are in the digital age. there's a lot of similar patterns, and I don't need to tell you that. You can probably already see it yourself. You can see a lot of businesses introducing the technologies. Even something like YouTube, if you upload YouTube videos, it literally gives you AI generated titles that you can choose from if you want to use that. There's heaps of companies that are bringing this technology. So it's right in front of everyone's eyes. But are they going to learn from history? Are they going to be smart enough to adapt, or are they going to not bother to do it and just pretend it's not happening? I personally don't think they will. I was actually speaking to someone a few days ago, like one of my friends, and he was just telling me, I was telling him how AI is like pretty much the future and all that, and it's already here, then how it's going to replace a lot of jobs. And he agrees with me, but at the same time, he was just saying how it's just unfair how business owners aren't willing to pay people and employ people, because that's the whole purpose of business. And it's just ridiculous how they'd rather hire AI than people. But he was, in other words, he was more focused on the problem at hand rather than focusing on adapting and looking towards a solution and preparing himself. But obviously that's up to you. So that's the purpose of today's presentation. You don't want to be one of those factory workers in this fourth industrial revolution. So hopefully that gave you a bit of facts behind AI, so you can actually understand why people are saying what they are about AI, is because there are some stats to back it. There is reason to be scared of AI, but at the same time, rather than being scared about AI, what you're better off to do, in my opinion, is focus on the solution, which is what I'm going to be giving you a bit of an introduction to here. Let's look at some common questions and myths around AI. Should we be scared of it? I personally don't think so. Like I said, the whole idea of this presentation is so you can make your own decision around AI. So I'm not going to be telling you what to believe and what not to believe. I'm not going to be giving my own opinion. So I don't believe we should be scared of AI right now. In fact, a lot of AI experts, when you listen to podcasts and interviews, they believe it's the opposite problem. They believe we should be more scared of what humans will do with AI than AI itself, because AI technology doesn't have the capability that many people believe it does in terms of how it can impact everyone on a negative level. It's more what people will do with AI that we should be scared about. And when they put it like that, it actually makes sense, because imagine AI getting into the wrong hands and what people will do with AI with its capabilities. They'll probably do a lot of bad shit. So I don't think so. In terms of our own personal level, though, in our own careers, we shouldn't be scared of AI, because although the impact can be alarming, there's many benefits that come with it. If you stay balanced, you know how to adapt, and you look towards a solution to start using it and applying it in your own life. Because rather than seeing it as the enemy, you could potentially see it as an addition to your life that can benefit you in certain areas. Does AI make you money? This is a big one people get, and heaps of people talk about AI, how it automates everything for you and how it makes you a lot of money pretty much instantly. I've heard that quite a lot before, but the thing to realize is AI itself does not make you money. Keep in mind, I'm more focusing from a business level, so there probably are AI technologies out there, like for example, in investing and trading, that can make you money, but this is more in a business sense. If you're looking to bring AI into your business and your career, it does not make you money. All the purpose of AI in a business and career is it makes your job easier and it reduces costs. So I guess in a way, if you reduce costs, that makes you money. But in terms of direct sales, it does not make you money. Think of it like an assistant you still have to manage, or an employee or staff member you still have to manage. But the big difference is that it's more efficient. It's about 10 times more efficient, quicker, and cheaper than a regular employee. And as I like to put it, one of the best benefits with AI is it doesn't bring home life drama into their work. So any business owner would know what I'm talking about, because you would know what happens dealing with staff members is that you also have to deal with their drama, because sometimes that can carry into work. So that's one of the beauties of AI, is it doesn't bring that in, and it's efficient, quicker, and cheaper. Where AI does make you money, though, like from a balanced perspective, is that since you can think less and you don't have to do the tasks yourself, and there's way less thinking required from you, it means you have more time, and you also have more brain capacity to focus on bigger priorities. So you can focus on more sales tasks, you can focus on more important projects, and whatever else you need to do. That's where AI really comes in handy, is that it takes away a lot of thinking and doing, because especially like people who do copywriting or do a career that requires a lot of mental capacity, you would know that 1 hour of work can drain a lot of your mental power, and then that stops you from being able to work long hours. Whereas when you take away the thinking and you don't have to really think much or do much, then you have a lot more energy, a lot more focus, and you can work longer hours. So remember these AI tools. Self-checkout machines do not make Woolies, Coles, Big W, or whoever uses it. That it does not make them money. The company still has to get their own clients. But what this does is the clients that come to it, it makes the experience so much better. If you believe in AI, obviously, and it makes it quicker, more efficient, and they hire less staff. Like even think back to 5 years ago at a local grocery store, there was so many more employees in the checkout machines, whereas I've noticed there's a lot less staff working there these days, purely because these were built in. But they still have one person there who's kind of monitoring the machines and making sure that everyone's going well. So they still employ someone to look after and manage these machines. Same thing with QR codes. These QR codes and AI would be irrelevant if they weren't having customers. So keep that in mind. If you're looking to bring AI into your business, you still have to get your own customers and clients, and it won't produce you money. The technology itself won't produce you money. Why aren't more people using AI? I think it's pretty simple. It's because they hear all of these great promises and opportunities if they adapt, but they realize after trying it for themselves, number one, they don't even understand why they're using it, which is why I wanted to do that background section, because they don't actually understand why they're using it. They're just going at it emotionally rather than understanding why they're doing it. And they also realize after trying it that they still have to do it themselves. They still have to steer it and tell the AI what to do. It's not what they thought it was. They thought that AI would just do everything for them, and realize that after trying it, they actually have to still do it. So they give up, they go back to what they were doing, and they wait until it's easier to use. So this is the key thing. They wait until it's easier to use. Think about the crypto trend, for example. When people were back in the day doing cryptos a lot, most people were waiting for cryptos to be easier to use before they got into the trend. But the real profits were made when cryptos were hard to use and they were hard to understand. And the people that actually took time to learn it and understand it before everyone else got on board, they were so much better and made a lot more profits from it. Most people get lazy and they don't bother to learn it because right now it's hard and they realize it's a completely new skill to learn in terms of instructing the AI what to do. So that's why when it comes to industrial revolutions in this fourth one, you want to make sure you're not being lazy, and you want to make, especially with the way the world is heading to a digital age, I don't need to tell you that, you probably already know it, how important it is to be proactive, and not just proactive, but even right now. Like it's not just something for the future. It literally is happening right now. So even be able to use it right now. Is it too late to learn it? The beauty is it's still early to learn how to drive AI. All you need is the skill to know how to put good information in, and then you can get the gold out. So when it comes to AI, what I mean by that is the main thing you need to learn about adapting to the digital age and learning how to use AI is you just need to know how to tell it what to do. So really what you're doing is you're learning management or leadership skills, talking to a robot. That's what the skill is. It's becoming an AI technician, because you can tell it what to do in your own company, or if you work in a job, then you can help your bosses or help your employers bring AI into their company, because then that'll make you indispensable and irreplaceable. So that's why it's so important to understand how to do it, because people will catch on. There's no doubt about that. And if you're quicker than everyone else to learn AI, then you'll be well ahead of the game, and you'll have a skill set that can carry on into the new world and make you irreplaceable. It's time to upskill. AI still and will require a human to manage it. By learning to be an early adapter of AI and utilize its capabilities, you're not only preparing to safeguard your future, because a lot of people say with AI, when they're learning it, they're doing it to safeguard their future and make sure they're prepared for what's ahead. But it's literally not just that. It's also about the incredible benefits you get right now. Like I've noticed that myself in my companies, Stephen, as you guys know, has it in his companies as well. A lot of businesses have brought AI into their companies, and they've reaped instant benefits like cutting costs, freeing up their own personal time, and potentially making more money because they have more time to focus on that. Now, phase 3, practical use of AI. So hopefully that those two sections gave you some good background hopefully by now you've got some kind of balanced opinion on it. There is a lot to be excited about with AI. There also can be a bit to be scared about with AI if you're not mindful and you're not learning it for yourself. So just really the outcome of this training today is just making your own decision, and I hope you've been able to get that to some degree so far. Now, examples of current AI capabilities and where it can be used in work, because we talk about how AI can be brought into business to free up your time and all that, but in terms of a practical sense and a where it can be used before we go into some actual demonstrations, is some areas it can be used. You can use it in blogs, copywriting, video editing, graphic design, data research, health planning, drafting legal documents. For example, you can use it for data research that would take a data scientist about months to research. You can literally do that work in about a couple of hours. I personally haven't tried that myself yet. I do know of people that have tried it, and it literally has saved them months of research just by using AI. I've been using it for copywriting, video editing, and that's saved me so much time. Other people have been using it for legal documents, and that saves them a lot of time. A lot of lawyers, especially when we put out of jobs, the more this technology gets developed. Graphic design as well, I know a lot of people use it for. As well as, yeah, music. I've seen you can find a lot of good YouTube videos where people make music with AI technology. You can use it to help you get ideas. You can help it for scheduling and drafting processes and procedures. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you where I personally use AI, and then we'll go into some live demonstrations so you can understand it for yourself and how to use it. Number one, if you're a complete beginner to AI, this is the best software to get started, in my opinion, is ChatGPT, because it's a very multi-purpose software. It's free as well. So if you're completely new to technology and you've never had tech experience or anything, this is where I recommend you start. The reason, like I said, is it's multi-purpose because I've been using it for emails, blogs, market research, content planning, course product creation, writing ads, ideas, and plenty of other stuff. You can use it for like drafting legal documents. You can use it to draft company processes and procedures. I actually saw someone on YouTube that used it to start a business from scratch, where he got this software to generate him ideas around a business name, a business tagline, branding colors, products, vision, mission, values, and all of that stuff he got from ChatGPT. So keep in mind, ChatGPT won't give you obviously perfect responses or perfect outcomes. You still have to know how to program it, and you still have to make updates and changes yourself. And this all sounds too good to be true, especially if you've never used AI before, but I'll show you a real life example after I give you some tips of how it looks and how it works in the real world. My first tip is to be hyper specific. So what I mean by that is most people, when they use something like ChatGPT or any kind of AI software, is they be very broad, like they just tell it broad commands. For example, let's say you're writing an email on using ChatGPT. What they might do is they might write me an email about inviting someone, or like write me an email to promote my sovereignty event. That's an example. But when you write it like that, write me an email on my sovereignty event, then that's a very broad command. So it's like there's a couple questions alone that can come out of a command like that in itself. You've got, well, number one, who am I actually targeting with this event? So it won't know how to frame the copywriting around who you're targeting. The other thing too is what is actually involved in the event, like what is included in the event, what are you going to actually be doing at it? There's heaps of questions that come out of it, and just logically there'd be heaps of things that, so then it's just very broad. It's like, what tone do you want to write it in? Do you want to write it in a way that looks really salesy or marketing? Do you want it to be more educational marketing? Do you want it to be more promotional based or fear based? Or there's heaps of questions that come out of it. I would say be hyper specific. The more specific you are with your command, the better. Understand chain commands. This is a really useful one, and one that you really want to take away from today is know how to use chain commands, or in other words, multiple prompts. And most importantly, play around with it, see what it's capable of. If you don't believe ChatGPT can do the task that you're trying to accomplish, just try it. Worst case scenario is you're right and it doesn't work, but best case scenario is that it surprises you and you actually can do it. So let's get an example. This is an event. We're not actually running this event, but this is just to give you an example, one that I recorded to help you understand it. So this goes for about 6 minutes, but what I'm doing is I'm going to be commentating to walk you through this. So before I actually asked it to promote me an event, I wanted to do a bit of market research so that I can actually instruct it properly. And my first command was who would be likely to attend a sovereignty event. Mainly because, like I said, before I actually start using ChatGPT to write me emails, I first wanted to do some market research. So this just spits out a bunch of different people and different audiences that might potentially be interested in this event. You can see here it's generated about 7 different options, and we all know, any marketers out there would know that this isn't really the best this isn't the best framework to go off because it's not specific, it's very general. If I tried writing an email targeting everyone on this list, then it'd be very mixed messages. So I wanted to break it down further and identify the purpose. So let's say I ran this sovereignty event with the goal to make the biggest social impact. I asked it which of the above is most likely to make the biggest social impact, and then it told me that's going to be one. So if I'm going with the idea to make the biggest social impact, then I'll be targeting legal and political activists. I could update that command if I wanted to. Let me just quickly pause it to which one of the above audiences is most likely to make me the most money, or which one of the above descriptions is most likely to spend money at this event and be easy ongoing clients. Or stress-free ongoing clients. You can get that specific. Then it will tell you maybe business owners and entrepreneurs will be the best one to target. So it's all about what you tell them, what you're trying to get out. So most people don't realize that you can actually feed off each other. They think that you have to, and I know I was like this at the start, that I thought you had to create new chats for every command, but you can actually keep going and keep feeding off them. So now, the next thing I asked it was, for legal and political activists, list me their biggest pain points and daily frustrations. And the reason I asked that is because I wanted to break it down further so I know what to write and how to speak to them in their language when I'm promoting this. So it listed me out these different things here. And keep in mind, this is real time. This isn't sped up. So you're seeing in real time how quickly this actually works. And next question was their biggest desires, so I can get a better idea of their desires. So all of this stuff is just market research. Keep in mind, this isn't actually me using it to write promotions. It's just me writing it, because anyone who's done marketing before would understand how annoying it is having to write a huge list of different things on who you're trying to target, all that thinking that goes into it. All of this information you're seeing here right now would normally take a marketer about 45 minutes to an hour, plus also a lot of thinking. So thinking also is the other thing, whereas this has literally been about 2 or 3 minutes getting all this information. Now, next question I asked it was, what would they want to know about how to solve their pain points, daily frustrations, and achieve their desires at my event? And then it listed me the different things they would want to know if they were going to attend it. The reason this is important is because when I'm running an event, I want to know that people will actually be interested in the content that we create. So then this just tells me what they would be interested in if they were going to attend an event on sovereignty, all of this different stuff. So then, now what do I do with this information next? Rather than me writing myself, I then wanted to get this to give me an outline, because most people, like, now that the market research has been completed and I know what I want to achieve out of this, like I know the outcome I want to get, I know the people I'm targeting, rather than me taking this information and then creating the workshop myself and creating the outline or the content plan and the promotions myself, I then use ChatGPT to use its own marketing that it's provided me and get it to create me an outline of a one-day workshop in a table format, which solves their biggest pain points. So listing out all the stuff it's already given me to make sure I can. So this then gives me an outline of a one-day workshop in a table format. Keep in mind, this isn't perfect. Like, obviously, I wouldn't just copy and paste this, and it's not perfect, but you can see that it gives a really good draft to go off, and it saved me so much time. And if you gave me the option between going off a rough draft, which I need to make edits to, or starting from scratch myself, I know which one I would take every day of the week. So this gave me a really good draft to go off, and I can obviously make changes myself. Just when it went back, but I can obviously make changes myself, but it gave me a really good one. Next thing I did was using this workshop here. I want to now come up with a title for the workshop so I can, start making some promotions, or at least getting that process started. So I asked it to give me 10 hard-hitting title and subtitle ideas for my workshop, which speaks to them at a subconscious level, because we all know when it comes to marketing, you kind of want to speak to people's subconscious and psychology. This was the ones here. It gave me about 10 different options. I personally didn't really like any of these title ideas, but for the sake of the example, I just took one of them, which you'll see shortly. But I personally didn't really like any of these examples, so I'd probably keep trying and changing different commands and all that until I got one that I liked, or I just think of my own one. The closest one to what I liked was the one I selected there, the sovereign mindset. Because we know legal and political activists like that kind of language. And then what I did is, rather than ending there, I then asked it to give me a 4-week marketing content and promotion plan in a table format for my workshop called that. So I copied and pasted the title and I asked it to include the day, topic, channel, and key points. So now it's going to give me a 4-week content plan that I can consider using. Now, once again, I wouldn't just copy and paste this and start my promotions off this alone. I would look at it like I would either keep asking ChatGPT to break it down further, or I would just make the changes myself. But again, it saved me so much time having to think of a 4-week content plan from my own mind from scratch. It gave me a really good outline to go off. So then next thing that I can do is, like, now that it's given me that, let's go one step further. Rather than just using this content plan and thinking, great, now I've got a content plan, let's go create some emails off this, or let's go create some posts off this. The next thing I wanted to do was asking it to, with the first one, you can see the key points for this is introduce the workshop, highlight its purpose and create intrigue, encourage followers to stay tuned. So then what I did is, rather than me writing off ChatGPT's suggestion, I then get ChatGPT to use its own suggestion to write an email based on that. So have a look. Write me a social media post. As you can see, a social media post is the channel to highlight the workshop, to highlight the workshop's purpose. So I'm literally just copying what it gave me, write it in a way that creates intrigue and encourages our followers to stay tuned for more details and registration information. And you'll see what it gives me. Now, the copywriting and the post it gave me, I didn't really like it because it was too markety in my opinion, or too salesy. It's not really factual. So you'll see what I mean. I didn't really like this. It's too too hype, I guess is the word. But what I would do is off the back of this command it gave me, I can use another command. This is the end of the example, but I would use another command and ask it to write it in a more factual tone or a more objective tone that speaks to more sophisticated and intelligent people. You can literally go in that detail. You can tell it what tone to write the email in or write the post in. And you can even ask it to make it longer. So let's say I wanted to make this post longer. I would make a command to say, make the above post longer. Or if I wanted to make it shorter, I could even say, make the above post shorter. So there's heaps of possibilities you can use ChatGPT for, but that's just an example with event creation. There's heaps of other purposes, like even with events, for example, another thing I've been using it for is, rather than like breaking bullet points down for key learning outcomes, I've even been using it for creating bullet points out of that. So you can see how good it is, and you can see how important it is to understand the type of commands to give ChatGPT. Otherwise, if you're just really broad, saying something like writing me a sovereignty event, you can see it wouldn't have got anywhere near this outcome it gave me. So that's why it's really important to understand. And what I'll do now is I'm going to head over into some other softwares I use and show you this. So the way I personally use AI, Vidyo.ai is another really good one. This is more for content creators for live webinars. Also with ChatGPT, I'll be sharing more at the end how you can actually learn about using different commands, like some different resources you can find for it. But with ChatGPT, before I move on to this, is that you can literally see how much it saved my time. In about 10 minutes or about 8 minutes, I was able to create a content plan, like a 4-week marketing content plan. I was able to create a 1-day workshop schedule outline. I was able to do market research, and I was able to create the first Facebook post or social media post literally in about 8 minutes, barely doing any thinking. Now, to do that, to give you an example for someone who's not in marketing, marketers listening to this would know exactly how powerful that is. But someone who's not in marketing, that would probably take a normal marketer about an hour and a half to 2 hours, I reckon, to do all of that, to do the market research, list out all of those things, to write a schedule, like a 1-day workshop schedule, to write a 4-week social media plan. That would take a good solid hour and a half or 2 hours, maybe longer with if you include breaks. Plus, not only the time, but it also would cloud you mentally. Like, it'd create a lot of mental cloud and fog. So, and whereas all of that was eliminated, that was done in about 8 minutes. And now you can see why people talk about AI and how it can free up time and save time in business and all that. And why copywriters are going out of jobs really quickly. Like, even someone that I know, someone that works closely with us, he used to have 3 copywriters in his business, but he fired 2 of them because one of them was able to learn ChatGPT and learn how to do the job of all 3 of them put together. So he decided to keep that one person who knew how to use AI, which is why you can see how important it is to be an AI technician. So this is another one. Video is a great one for content creators. I've personally been using this for creating reels. It's a pain in the ass, and anyone who does video editing would know what I'm talking about. When you look at something like a 1-hour webinar and you find like 30-second snippets for Instagram or for Reels, or find like 5-minute videos for YouTube, because you have to manually watch the video again, 1 hour, you have to manually timestamp where you want to cut it, then you have to edit it out. You have to put in subtitles, you have to do all of that, which can take you hours. Whereas video, like video, whatever you call it, literally does that for you. So I've been copying and pasting YouTube links from various videos that I've done, and then getting it to break me down reels. And you'll see a screenshot in a moment. Descript as well is another one. I've been trying. I haven't really used this much, to be honest, but it's a good one for voice cloning. And pretty much the point of that is that it literally, you can take someone's voice, obviously with their permission, and then you can train the voice into the system. So let's say I did a voice recording of myself, I put it into Descript, then it would train my voice in about 24 hours into its software. And then once my voice is recognized in it, I can literally write a full script, copy and paste it into the software, and then it'll use my voice to read that script. And I wouldn't have to be present in a studio or a recording studio to do that. Whereas normally, as you know, if you're doing advertisements or something, you would have to read out a script into a microphone at a studio. Whereas this one, you literally copy and paste a written script, and then your voice will spit it out, purely from AI. It sounds unbelievable, but it's true. So this is an example what I've been using it for in our other company, The Awakening Within. I copied and pasted the YouTube link here, and then it gave me 22 shorts within about, it probably took about 10 minutes or something to generate these clips, but it gave me all of these different clips that I can use for Instagram. Now, keep in mind, obviously, all of these different scripts aren't going to be perfect. Like, all of these different shorts aren't going to be perfect. In fact, I would say that majority of them aren't. Probably about 80% of them are irrelevant or not really good, but 20% of them are really good clips that I can use, and I don't have to actually use them. And that's about maybe 3 clips or something I can use. And I know for me, I would rather take 3 clips, 3 really good clips that I didn't have to look for myself, over having to spend hours going through a video, editing it out myself, adding subtitles and all that. And whereas this software does it all for you, it chooses the videos for you to add, it adds the subtitles to your video itself. Plus, it can also add a design around it if you want to. But obviously, you still have to make some minor changes. Like, sometimes it's not perfect in terms of the script it gives you, like the subtitles. Sometimes you have to make edits, but that literally takes you about a couple minutes at most to edit. So it saves you so much time. It saved me a lot of time, in fact. And yeah, you just want to keep using it. And similar to ChatGPT, I would choose this any day of the week than spending hours myself looking through videos and doing repetitive tasks. So it's really good. these are some other good softwares people use. I haven't really tried these myself, but this is more for marketers. So keep in mind, a lot of this training today is more suited for marketers and for people in business. But Dolly is a good one for creating images and graphics. I suggest you look into these yourself, do some of your own research, because I don't know enough about them to give my comments. Synthesia is a good one for creating AI videos. You've got Designer, which is really good at designing ebooks. The beauty of Designer as well, from what I've seen, is it's like a drag and drop editor. So the design it gives you, you can either choose to go with it, or you can even edit it yourself just based off a written text you give it in Word document format. It completely designs it for you. So rather than paying a graphic designer to design something for you for about $50 or whatever, you can choose to pay a monthly subscription fee to something like this and do as many ebooks as you want. So I know I'm going to be looking into this quite soon in the near future. Jasper is another good one for social media, I've heard. But once again, I suggest you do some of your own research. Ways to find good AI platforms for yourself is um, either searching it in Google. So, for example, best AI platforms for lawyers or for marketers or whatever, if you're choosing to go off that. My suggestion, though, is rather than typing your profession, actually type in the task you want it to accomplish. Because as you know, like something like best AI platforms for marketers, you would know that there's so much that goes into marketing. It's a very broad command once again, because there's like, what do you actually want it with marketing? Do you want it for blogs, copywriting, video editing, ideas, marketing plans, or what do you actually want it in marketing? So better off to be specific and tell you the task you want it to do in any form. The other thing too is we all know how Facebook just stalks us and listens to our audio every day with our phone. So why not use it to your advantage? Or Instagram or whatever social media platform you use, why not use it to your advantage and just keep talking into your phone like, man, I just wish I was able to find an AI software on this purpose and whatever it is. And literally within 2 days, what do you know? Big surprise, you'll probably see something pop up in your ads, like in your ad feed. So you may as well start using it to your advantage. Now, way to start, let me quickly share a good plan I would use if I was starting out in AI, or at least this was the process that I'm following at the moment that I've followed up to now, is firstly, know your goals. So rather than just saying, oh, yep, I need to jump onto AI, before you jump into AI and use it on your business, it's really common sense. Know what you actually want to use it for. So before you just bring AI into your business, first establish the goals and what you want to use it for. Next, research and find a software that meets your needs and achieves your outcome. So if you want to use it, for example, to free up your own personal time, then get clear on what it looks like to free up your personal time. Like in my case, I wanted to not do as much copywriting. I knew copywriting was really important, but I didn't want to do it myself. So I wanted to use AI to free up my time in copywriting. Then I chose to use ChatGPT because I knew that would help me. And then I then did a course on it to learn the software. Then so either do your own research on YouTube, blogs, or whatever. Do a paid course on it is another good way. And or like if you're going to use ChatGPT, for example, maybe buy a product or so that gives you ChatGPT prompts and commands. So then you don't have to think about it. You can just get it done for your prompt command thing, or prompt command package, which has heaps of commands you can use. Number 4 is apply it and learn it on the job. That's the most important thing, is applying it and learning on the job, because you can do all this research, but if you don't actually try it yourself, you're not going to learn. You can listen to people like me, Global Wealth Club, and anyone else who runs like AI things or just gives some tips to do it. But also you have to actually do your own research to learn quicker and all that. 5 is train others to free up your time, because I'm always looking to free up my time, and I'm sure you are as well. So train others to free up your time. So once you have got good at the software yourself, train it to others so they can do it. So then we've been training our staff to use ChatGPT and some other softwares currently. And rather than me going through that process I showed you in about 8 minutes, the next step that I want to do is that rather than me doing that, I'm going to write some procedures and do some trainings on it. So then rather than me doing that, I can literally just go to one of our staff members or in the Philippines to just say, follow this procedure and create me a marketing plan for this event. That would take me about like 5 seconds to give that instruction, and then a staff member off like in the Philippines can do it. So you can see how powerful it is, because rather than me spending 8 minutes, I can literally spend 5 seconds. So like there's always ways you can go one step further. Now, that pretty much wraps up the training, but what I wanted to share is for people that actually want to learn more about AI and how to get started in this space to become a technician, because naturally from something like this, you want to know some good places to get started to, especially to start building momentum, and are well educated to some degree now. But if you are interested to learn further, we do have a course available that we're not running ourselves through GWC, but someone that we work closely with is running a course on this, to help people get started with becoming an AI technician to transition into the digital age. And it's a very low cost and affordable one, which I'll be sharing more shortly. So there's plenty of resources you can do. Before I go into this course, one tip that I will say with you is, if you're doing your own research, just be mindful of who you trust, because there's plenty of AI experts that claim to be ChatGPT gurus or AI gurus and stuff, and it's easy to get scammed. Think back to the bull run in the cryptos, when cryptos was making a lot of progress. It's kind of died off recently, but anyone will claim to be a crypto expert when they're winning and when times are good. And we're seeing similar trends in the AI space at the moment. There's heaps of people claiming to be it. So be mindful of who you trust, listen to the right people, and yeah, that's really important. So what's included in this course is there's 8 emails. It's actually an email course. The reason he wants to do it in an email course, and this guy I'm actually sharing about is one of the best people we've come across with technology. Everything I've showed you today, like all of these different softwares, he was actually onto it quite early, and was the one who got me started with some of these softwares. So it's been amazing. He's been great. He's a thorough researcher. So I personally don't really do much of my own research around AI. He does a lot of it for me because we work closely together. And the last 10 years or so of his life, he pretty much has dedicated to AI research, because he's really good with technology and one of the best experts in tech that I've come across. So he's running an 8 email series course with practical steps to start mastering AI in career and life. This is for people who want to use it in business and who want to master this to become an AI technician and transition to the digital age. The reason it's an email course is because it can give you really practical steps and get you started in this area. There'll be access to email support during the course. So any questions you actually have during this course, you can just email to him. If there's an email that you get that you don't understand with written steps, or if you don't know how to actually go out and do what he says in one of the steps, you can simply email him during the course, and he'll be able to give you some support and tell you what to do. Plus, he's also, it's not going to end there. Like with terms of 8 emails, there's going to be further updates. So the more research he finds, the more softwares he finds, the more tools that he can actually provide to you. There's going to be further updates provided as well. Like we'll be including that for free even after this course finishes. So it's going to be a really practical course. There'll be tools, softwares, and all that you can use, as well as a bit of education to understand it. But most of that stuff was kind of covered in today's presentation anyway. So it's going to be focused a lot on practical steps. So I wouldn't be promoting this or recommending this or sharing this if I didn't trust the guy. I know I personally will be doing his course myself. It's just because I know how good he is at this stuff, and the research he puts into it is pretty much what he does his whole life, what he does with all of his time. There's also a special bonus for the first 5 people that join. So this is only for the first 5 people that join, and very simply, it's because as you know, if you're a consultant or any kind, you would know that time is very limited with capacity. So the only reason we're doing that is just because we want to give the first 5 people the opportunity for one-on-one consult with him. So any specific questions you have around tech or whatever purpose you want to use it for. So if you want to use AI for investing, if you want to use it for business, or if you want to use it for just personal reasons, and you're feeling stuck or lost or anything, you can literally just have a consult with him and ask him all of these questions, and he'll point you in the right direction to get started. And normally someone in this space would be about $350, and I'm probably going on the cheaper end. Like that one's pretty cheap for an AI expert, so I've just went on the low end. But I reckon realistically you'd be looking at like $1,000 or probably more for something like that, to get really specific, like good guidance on tech and AI. Now, the main things that will be included in the course is there's 4 key phases, like in terms of what you'll get, 4 key learning outcomes, and there'll be a breakdown of the course as we go along, and he'll give you a better like breakdown than me. But first phase is understanding it. So a lot of this stuff will be more overview stuff. So before you get started with practical tools, you can understand the reasons and guidelines behind it and all that. This part won't be very long. It'll probably be like 1 or 2 emails just to help you familiarize yourself with the basics and get that really key learning outcome to actually understand for yourself the digital age, so you can understand the transition and how to adapt. Plus also what it means to be an AI technician. Phase 2 will be providing practical tools, skills, and softwares to succeed. So he'll be providing that through the emails to help you get started. Then phase 3 and 4, there'll be practical application of the skills to show you in written form and show you exactly how to practically apply what you learn. And then phase 4 will be reviewing and touching up on additional opportunities. So showing you other platforms, showing you ways to secure your future, plus also showing you ways to obviously benefit right now. Now it's only 197 AUD. The reason that we've kept it that low, or that he's kept it that low, is because he wants to, while it's in development and all that, and actually getting some live feedback from you guys and building this out really well, we're keeping it low, but it'll probably go up once it's actually developed because it's still quite new. And yeah, but there's going to be a lot of value in it. Like I said, I know I'll be doing it myself, but that's what it is, 197 AUD. This is the link. It'll be included in the email or the description, wherever you watch this from. And yeah, there'll be a lot of value provided. And there's also one thing I forgot to mention is there's also a money back guarantee. So if you feel like you didn't get value by after 30 days, there also will be a money back guarantee to make sure you get value and meet your expectations. So that's what the course is. Link will be included below. And yeah, if you're interested to do this, the first 5 people will get a one-on-one consult with him, and that'll probably be about the max capacity that he can go to at this stage. Obviously, there may be opportunities for further consults if they open up, but to get started with, there's only 5 spots available. So any questions, feel free to reach out to me or reach out to our support team at support@globalwealthclub.com. And we'll be happy to point you in the right direction and provide you with details to get started or any resources that that you can help with. So that wraps it up. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you guys in another time.